Alrighty, so welcome back in, Kurt Magoosh and Slaughterhouse Sports, and again, want to thank everybody for watching the Sooners content so far. We're trying to do a lot of recruits here in this time of the year, and so for all the Sooners fans or just fans of college football, today we're going to add in 4 more Oklahoma guys for this day. We already had Jaron Kanak and we had the safety, but Jaron Kanak, is from Hays, Kansas, and he's more of a 6'2", 220, really fast, really athletic linebacker that's probably going to get some looks at inside linebacker. But this is a very interesting prospect. This is Mckinzie, all right, Kobie Mckinzie. He's from West Texas. He lives actually in the town of Lubbock. So he did pick the Sooners, okay, and maybe the coaching change of Texas Tech. Again, it's good for Oklahoma's sake. For Texas Tech, he is a hometown kid from Lubbock, Texas. So McKenzie's a very, very interesting prospect. Very interesting in several ways. Really fun to watch on tape because he's a punishing player. He's a rare linebacker. He plays at 240 pounds. For a linebacker, he's right here. Okay, this is his junior year tape. So he plays at 240, and okay, he's very, very physical. Naturally, for a high school guy, he loves physicality, loves stopping the run. That's the strengths of his game, is that he could stop the run. In terms of, we're going to keep watching him, but in terms of twitch and things, like he can improve that aspect of his games, but he's built very stout. He's very tough to move, very tough to move. But he is built at 240 pounds. Now, he might not have the longest arms or in terms of size, he might not be 6'4", even 6'3", but he definitely has a role that he's a heavy hitter. And as you go into the SEC, you see he has very good get off of the football. He hasn't really played at edge too much, but on early downs, especially in the red zone, you got to rotate him in, and he could be very, very good at stopping the run. So here you see him. He is in pass coverage, and he does have closing speed, which I do like to see there. So in terms of him covering routes, though, I mean, because he's not the longest guy, he's decently fast. But if you put a running back on him, like it might be kind of tough. I think that his best position, like it's interesting because he is 240 pounds, so there always is this talk like, look, he could be a 4th defensive lineman. He could be an edge kind of guy, and he could really improve in terms of playing on the defensive line itself. Like he could play on, as an edge rusher. That's really what he can do because as a linebacker, I mean, maybe you could try to put him like an inside linebacker and really play him, really have him play physical, even though he isn't the tallest guy. He did play inside here in high school. But it really matters where you're going to put him. He shows great effort on the tape. He really brings physicality. He does have wiggle. He's a great competitor, and he'll freaking hit you, which I love. I love his physicality. Like, I love this downhill. This is great speed from this guy. So if you put him, like if you're playing a 3-4 and he's kind of screaming off the edge, he could be really, really effective. And you can also have him spy your quarterback. He could be very, very good at that. He could drop in the coverage. But against the run, the guy's going to be an absolute mauler. He's going to be a beast. I mean, he's not afraid to, look at him, he's not afraid to go inside into the traffic and pulverize guys. Because there's other guys, there's a lot of linebackers that come out that are long and rangy, but they don't have the physicality that Kobie has. So it's going to be very interesting to watch like what Oklahoma does with Kobie. I mean, there you see, I think, really good acceleration. He's great at stopping the run inside. Watch him. Jumps the snap count perfectly, knifes through the defenders, gets a great tackle. He'll be a tackling machine. I mean, he would have been a 5-star linebacker if he's like 6'4", 6'5". That's the only question is it, you know, if he was taller. If he was taller, he'd probably be a Mike linebacker. But instead, he's gonna be off the edge. He's gonna be a very interesting player that they're gonna utilize here. He really brings physicality. It's interesting because we are going to review Kip Lewis. And, you know, if you're an Oklahoma fan, you should watch, you know, those two guys because they couldn't be more different players, but they're going to be able to complement each other well in this class. So this guy is very physical against the run. His strengths are is that he has decent burst to the football. He can be twitchy. He can knife inside, and he can get you. All right. He loves playing in physical. He loves playing with bodies near him, and he can make plays. Okay, you could spread him out, you could drop him in the coverage, and as a defensive lineman, you could even drop in the coverage, get a lot of interceptions off of tips, and that's what he can do. He can go from 240, he could put on weight, and he could play on the edge. But I don't think I don't really think it's going to be a 4-3 fit, you know, with Brent. But you're going to find ways to get this guy involved. Wow. You see him as a running back as well. He has great athletic ability. That's the reason that he's really highly coveted. I like him. It's just it's just a matter of how are you going to utilize this guy well? Because like I said, and I'll pause the video here, like I said, you know, I don't want him in having to cover so much space because then you could put him in a position to fail, or covering a really fast running back out of the backfield and having to carry the running back. I don't really think that that's going to be his role. That's more like Jaron and Kip Lewis. But I think that if you have him inside, you know, I think he can actually be an inside linebacker at Oklahoma. I don't know about the Mike, but he could be an inside linebacker at Oklahoma. And then you can also put him, you know, as he continues to grow into his upperclassman years, you could teach him some pass rush moves. You could put him on the line, you know, and you could have a 4-down defensive front, and you could put him as an edge rusher on that front, utilize his speed, you know, have some stunts where he goes inside from the edge, have some stunts where he'll dip inside behind the tackles, and he could be very, very effective. On goal line, you got to put him in. He's going to be great against the run. I think that he's going to go up to 260 pounds, and he's going to be inside because as an outside linebacker, I don't know if he has like the speed consistently to play outside. But that's what makes him, you know, really a fun fit to analyze because he does have great strengths. I love the kid's game. I love how he plays. I love the physicality. He has a fearlessness to the way that he works, and he can knife through and have good instincts, especially in the run game. So that is what is going to remain to be seen about a Kobie Mckinzie. Look at him right here. Stands his ground. He's not going to be moved. And again, he's only 18 years old. So that body type is only going to get even stronger as he goes to Norman. So an early enrollee at Oklahoma. Again, leave your thoughts in the comments on Kobie. He's going to be a very interesting prospect. He's going to be interesting to see where they use him on the field, and leave your thoughts below on Kobie Mack. So again, I like the kid, and I'm excited about getting him to campus up in Oklahoma.